laugh out loud. Well, I am glad that they're having this conversation because too many who profess they are in so-called ministry have become rich off those things that God freely gave to them, things that Jesus said you must freely give. The gospel is not for sale. Forrest is the Christian musician who you may remember broke his back in a skateboard accident in July and then claimed a miraculous healing in just one day. He wrote a song called God's Got My Back, and his latest album debuted at #1 on the Billboard Top Christian Music Albums, and it also reached #12 on the all-genre Billboard 200. Well, he's in the news again because he decided not to attend last week's Dove Awards show or accept any awards. And Jelly Roll publicly called out what looks like hypocrisy. Welcome to Morning Tea. Hello, I'm Joanne. So glad you're here today. Forrest Frank admitted that the issue is something that he's been really struggling with. He said, "I'm struggling with the concept of receiving this award, but all glory to Jesus. Every name will fade away, including mine, except for one name. I feel a conviction to go even a step further and say, I don't know if I even want to step on the stage. I don't know if I want to step in the room. So I've decided to take a stance of non-participation." I applauded that. Why do followers of Jesus need to parade and reward the highest and most famous sellers of Christian music in a copycat sort of way that the world does for their most famous, richest, and idolized? But at the time, it also crossed my mind that, well, it may be hypocritical because he does earn probably a lot from royalties and other revenue from sales of his music and his merchandise and tours and brand collaborations, whatever he's got going on. But then Jelly Roll, who took down the Dove Awards house with his duet with Brandon Lake, the hard-fought Hallelujah, he publicly pointed this out. And he commented, "Won't receive trophy for something from Jesus, for Jesus, but will take the profits from something from Jesus, for Jesus. Maybe I'm missing something here, LOL. Laugh out loud." Well, I am glad that they're having this conversation because too many who profess they are in so-called ministry have become rich off those things that God freely gave to them, things that Jesus said you must freely give. The gospel is not for sale. And I address this in detail in this post here. It's really important, and we need to talk about this as we watch the corruption in the contemporary Christian music machine, this money-making industry. Michael Tate and the Newsboys, Maverick City, in a stunning new lawsuit. If you've seen this, Chandler Moore, who is their Grammy award-winning singer, has left the group. He's alleging fraud and forgery and something like $800,000 in stolen royalties. Who knows what else is going to seep out? But Frank responded to Jelly Roll. Basically, he said, "I'm not going to tell you what I do with my earnings. Legally, that money comes to me. What I do with that money after it legally comes to me, I'm never going to tell anybody because your left hand isn't supposed to know from your right hand." Now, I don't know if he considers himself a minister of praise and worship. I went to his website to look for an about page or something, and it's basically just a shop with tons of merchandise and tour information. But if this is a for-profit money-making venture, then he's correct. It's nobody's business. Giving is a personal matter between God and each believer. The issue for him then becomes, is he peddling the gospel and selling Jesus? But if he claims to be in ministry, then he needs to be transparent, as other ministers have done. Not so many these days, I'm sorry to say, but the ones that do, they say, this is not a business. I take nothing from any sales that may happen. And sales do happen. For instance, in music platforms like Spotify, if you're a musician and if you put your music on there, they will collect royalties whether you like it or not. And so then when you have those funds, you can do what you like with them and pass them along, which many people do. So it's a good conversation. It's well past time that this happened. The community of believers need to be informed on this critical issue of the commercialization of the things of God. Something that Jesus got quite upset about when he saw money changers turning a profit in God's house. What are your thoughts about this? Please leave your comments below, and I want you to remember to look for the blessings because they're all around you. Bye-bye.